Okay, hello. Let me just screen share the presentation. Okay. Hello. Today I would like to tell you more how R&D shapes mobile teams, especially in context of React Native, which is part of Netguru mobile development team. My name is Patryk Szczygło, and I'm React Native developer and also mobile R&D expert. On my daily basis, I work on making experiments and trying newest technologies or libraries with other developers. Firstly, let's explain what is exactly research and development. We'll split this into research and development, and we are going to talk separately about each. So research for us is basically looking for opportunities. We pick something new or hard. We start from scratch and we try to find out about some use cases. In this step, we fail a lot. We always decide to make some initial commitment. And if we get some promising results, we go to the next phase called development. Of course, sometimes we drop idea. We just write some conclusions and we move forward. But when a research is successful and you can see some potential in it, we start planning development phase. We want to introduce this new technology, so we are investing more time. We try to compare it to other solutions, and we start our knowledge sharing. We talk about it on our team meetings. We prepare blog posts. By the way, you can check out them on our code stories. After this step, we are going to make some proof of concepts. Often the results are new open sources that we publish on our GitHub. Finally, we get R&D together. Recently, we did it in click and collect application. So how standard app becomes mobile acceleration? Let's find out. Click and collect is application where you can order some products like food or new clothes. You choose something, pay with a card or Apple Pay or Google Pay. You choose where you would like to get your package, and after it, you can go and collect your order. But life is hard, right? So we wanted to try out our skills against some new challenges. We decided to work with only mobile developers. Who likes to wait for new endpoints from backend guys, right? We also wanted to experiment with AR. People from Android and iOS make it all the time in Netguru. So let's try it also in React Native. And at the end, no Redux. Sometimes I feel we overuse it. So not this time, Redux, sorry. We found Firebase is the simplest choice for us to use. We have mature libraries for it. It uses JSON-style database as we are used to because of Redux. Also, we can deploy some functions in TypeScript. According to AR, we cannot find anything usable. It took too much time to set it up, or it wasn't supporting newest version of React Native. So especially in our case, where we wanted to show navigation mark on camera in real world, we needed custom solution. So we took power of our Android and iOS teams, and we bridged their libraries. And the last thing, we used RxJS instead of Redux. We wanted to try a new pattern. Also, we found RxFire library, which is making it easier to work with Firebase. So it was an excellent choice for us. You may ask what we learned. So we worked 3 weeks to deliver fully working proof of concept with only 2 developers. We had over 80% test coverage and fully working CI to constantly deliver application for our managers. So they were up to date with our progress. We reduced boilerplate a lot, as we focused only on RxJS services. Thanks to that, we worked on a few pure functions without Redux boilerplates with dispatches, containers, reduces, selectors, and that's all. Screens were subscribing directly to pipes from RxJS and displaying everything. In case we wanted to persist some data between our sessions, we just used async storage. So right now we are thinking more to move out from Redux and try new architectures, new approaches that will speed up our work. And there is no pain in bridging, really. We even made open source library, so you can see it. In a few days, we added AR into React Native application. We spent same amount of time trying to set up some libraries from GitHub. As it was really hard to make it working, we made the decision to bridge our libraries. Basically, when you understand the idea of bridging, it becomes pretty natural way to connect with native application or library. At the end, we found we made perfect abstraction thanks to RxJS. It was a little by accident, I have to say, but now we are able to connect to any API. For example, after a few hours, developers showed me our proof of concept connected to REST API, displaying products that you could order. Orders part stayed on Firebase, and whole product fetching was using REST API. We realized it's more powerful to use RxJS for API than other approaches. So you may ask, where is mobile acceleration? And obviously in assets. We have created proof of concept application, and we are showing it to people as it's ready to use solution. We've got tons of experience in Firebase and also native development. Thanks to that, we are more encouraged to experiment with some native libraries when millions of NPM packages are not so useful. We know about alternatives for Redux, and we can start researching how to extend or replace it by some new technologies. And we also made new open source for AR, our React Native AR localizer that you can find on our GitHub. And right now, we are focused on knowledge sharing. Check out our code stories, as we are doing it also on our blog. We found some issues in Sticky Parallax Header, which is our open source library that I will talk about in a second. And we are ready for making something for our clients, as we found all the pain points during click and collect development. So research and development must go together. Let's talk about different example. In Netguru, we travel a lot. We have special Slack channels to talk about our adventures. So we made I Want to Fly Again application. It's application to check for open connections between airports, how to get to some place, and look for newly open flights and directions. It was a project that we loved to make, and we wanted to check mostly two things: React Native Windows and React Native macOS for desktop app creation, and our internal tool for fast React Native project setup. We grabbed our dribble designs and we made them mobile first. Then we started migrations. It's like you make in web development, right? We had more problems than we firstly thought. We had problems with icons. As you can see on screens, problems with navigation, as it wasn't working at first place. And then we fight to set it up, and finally with layout. Without special team for desktop development, it's too early to implement applications with such approach. But for our tool, we found all missing parts, as we finally had real project to test it. We talked through all issues and described them. Right now, we are on a way to make it working really great. Next project is Smart Display. It's actually something you may were waiting for. Why? Because Smart Display is digital assistant. It's a tablet with our application on walls in our offices. So basically, if you are going to kitchen to grab some food, you can approach him and talk with about organizing meeting, showing your calendar, or booking a room for you. It has a lot of responsibilities thanks to all technologies we put in. It has face login. So during registration phase, we make some photos and machine learning model learns how to recognize you. We have voice recognition, so you can talk with him. And recently we added human-friendly interaction. So face login, you start with registration. We need your photos to teach machine learning model how to recognize your face. So you don't have to even touch it, as you also use voice to interact with. Also, if you are old school guy, there is an option to enter your email and PIN to log in. After that, you will have access to all functionalities. Previously, we used simple smiling face from our bot called Bob. Right now, we have digital human we can talk with. It's more a natural way when you are talking to some human-looking someone than icon on a device. So after login, we talk with digital human thanks to Dialogflow that translate our requests to backend operations to book room or fetch calendar. Then digital human answer us and redirect to specific place in application. Okay, and finally, we have our open source that I am the most proud of. It's a library for really cool headers. We did 3 pre-configured headers: tabbed header, avatar header, and details header. As you can see them on concept animations, we also made a custom header that allows you to fully customize behavior and appearance. This library is, to be honest, part of our team, as we use it all the time during researches. So we can say library is battle tested and ready for production. Also, many of our researches are finished as open source. Often we extract part of it and present to people as pure idea. Then we find more use cases for it, and we are developing it more and more. It also exposes our R&D team to some new challenges. We start from one use case, then people try to use it in sometimes really weird cases. So we needed to support it all the time. We check issues and we try to resolve them. I also encourage you to help us with developing our open sources. They are really great. We also test it in every R&D project. We try to find use case and fit, for example, sticky parallax header there. It makes library well tested and help us to make roadmap for it. Also, issues on GitHub are a great place to gather feedback, as people report all problems. So in R&D, we adjust our internal processes, and we are ready to work on also external feedback. Not only research and development part is part of our Netguru culture, but also open source community. So R&D is making impact. In first place, on our skills. Each time we try new things, we change our thinking. We show it to the world so we can make impact on products like with click and collect or smart display. We impact clients, showing them safe innovation so they can improve with us and make not only crazy experiments, but also real projects. Okay, and that's all from my side. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Patryk, for your presentation. There are no questions on the chat, but there is actually one question right now. It's from Joanna. What are your key findings from development process of Click and Collect app? What went good? What would you change if you were to develop it once again?
To be honest, I won't change anything. I've got 2 great developers, and as we made our roadmap for features, we knew that it will be pretty challenging to put everything because it was kind of big app and we have like short amount of time. So we needed to squeeze everything. And we decided on some parts and start doing it. So we did pretty cool things like no Redux, but we use it every day, every time. So it was pretty impressive for me as it reduced time to make this application by a lot. And also this AR, we were trying like really hard to find something on GitHub. We looked for the issues, looked for libraries, and we spent too much time trying to set it up. So finally, we decided to bridge our Netguru libraries that we have, and it went pretty well. And it was much faster than looking for GitHub and trying to adjust it.
Yep, thanks. We have another questions, basically. The first one is from Pavel. Would you recommend to use RxJS in commercial projects?
Right now, yes, for sure. Maybe not for a whole application, like in Click and Collect, but partially. For example, I think fetching is a really cool way to use it. There is also Redux Saga that is often used for fetches and some async actions. But I think RxJS is more, let's say, flexible to use it.
All right, so there is one more question, again from Joanna. Taking from your experience from developing Click and Collect app into account, do you think that React Native devs can be self-sufficient, at least when it comes to the backend? When is it not a good idea to use Firebase as a backend tech for mobile app?
Yeah, sure. So self-sufficient developer, I don't think it's in this case also, because we had some also problems with like full text search. We needed to look for some solutions for that, like Elasticsearch that you can deploy on AWS or something, or use some Algolia, as I remember. So it's not also like pretty easy to just stick to one, for example, Firebase, and just use it, because in some point you may want to extend it somehow. So I think for kind of MVP proof of concept, Firebase is a great place, and you should definitely start with it. But if application is going to be made like for thousands of people using it every day, it will be cool to have like also backend guy taking care of some heavy operations and some features that Firebase couldn't make it right now. So
yeah. Thanks, Patryk, for your answers. But there is one more question, not from the chat, but from the Slido. I think you may be interested in it. So what's the role of R&D lead?
Yeah, sure. My role is to like encourage people to use newest technology. I try to organize work and introduce these things we research during our bench time when we have no commercial projects. So we grab some cool technologies with other developers. We try to use it and test it. And I think we lost Maciek. We try to use it, test it, And then I'm trying to apply it to our commercial project step by step. So my role is just to grab some new technologies, be aware of it, have experience in organizing such a work because it's different than in normal commercial project, as we have really short times like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we need to squeeze, for example, whole application or something like that. Okay, so if the, oh, hello, Maciek.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah, no problem, something dropped.
Hoping disconnected me, sorry.
No problem. I just answered the questions. So if there is no more questions, I think we can move on.
Yeah, and we would like to invite you to the networking tab because our discussion panel starts in 20 minutes. So I think it's enough to meet some interesting people. And thanks for your attention. And I hope we will see again on next Netguru mobile hangout. So see you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.